with Ken Gonzalez from the OC. Welcome, Ken.
Hi, Barclay. Thanks. It's good to be here.
And good to see you. What kind of things have you picked up in the last day or so at the conference? Anything new, anything exciting that's happening that you've seen, or is it the same old stuff?
I wouldn't say it's the same old. I think that some of the things that are really exciting about the conference is the general theme around how it's been bringing people in that are thinking differently. Lots of different perspectives in terms of authors and the recent works that they've done. I think that Pink does a good job of being able to help bring new ideas to the space so that we're not taking the same old approaches trying to address the problems that we're currently facing in the industry.
Do you think that we have enough stuff, or do we still need new stuff coming in? Because there seems to be such a plethora of things that we can do.
Well, there's certainly not a lack of things and stuff. How we actually use those things and stuff to address the challenges that we face is really the key question, which is one of the reasons why, when it gets right down to it, I'm a big fan of the Universal Service Management body of knowledge. Because in a very real sense, the way we get to use it isn't as much as like a set of prescriptive things to do, although if you look at some of the complementary guidance that we provide, there are some detailed do this, don't do that, here's how you would structure a service provider organization, but rather being able to use it more like a Rosetta Stone, so that you can actually translate the guidance that's being provided by the different frameworks and methods that we have available, and then selecting from that what are the right things that fit the challenges you're finding today. So instead of doing the whole rip and replace wholesale process type work, no, we can actually do surgical strikes, looking for opportunities to improve inside a service provider organization and really taking that and translating that into customer visible benefit. When you do it like that, you decrease risk, you decrease cost, and you start to build the relationship with the customer so they're actually clear that, wow, when these guys get involved and start working this way, good stuff happens that I care about. There's only goodness in that.
And that's stuff that you can train on, that you can actually
definitely, yeah,
build into what they do.
Yeah, and it's not technical in the sense that we're used to dealing with in the IT industry as, I've got to go on months long worth of courses and invest a lot of time and invest a lot of money. The outside-in thinking is actually very cost-effective in terms of being able to get your head rewired around what it takes to become customer-centric, so that you could do it fairly inexpensively, both in terms of raw cost as well as the amount of time it takes. So over the course of a couple short training programs, you could actually go from being completely inside-out focused on technology and having a new way to begin to interact with your colleagues in the business and addressing the challenges you face. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, and how does that link up to other things that I know you do, like ISO 20000 and so on? Is there a clear correlation between them, or do you have to...
I think there is a clear correlation, because with the release of ISO 20000 with the 2011 version, it's the first time that we've actually seen the introduction of the service management system into the actual requirement, bringing it in line with ISO 14000, the 9000 series, and the 27000 series, where now the emphasis is on the management system aspect of it, not the process aspect of it. And by doing that, for the first time, we've really established what are the minimum set of moving parts that a service provider organization needs to have in place to be an effective deliverer of IT services. So now we can actually go through and identify, okay, what are the artifacts, what are the elements that need to be there as a baseline. So, one of the things I've been hearing recently is that service providers are saying, well, we really don't know where to start improving, so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Which is incredible. I can't believe that any IT executive would actually say that with a straight face and not be kind of embarrassed about it. Well, with ISO 20000, we now have a floor. We can go through and say, yeah, this is the bare minimum. If you can demonstrate this level of capability, great, you're now in the game. From there, we can use our outside-in principles to start identifying where are our tangible opportunities to improve, and now be very focused and very targeted about how we go about doing that.
Okay, and just on the consulting side, and understand that perspective, but is it good to have that big toolkit of things, or does that actually constrain you in some way because you've got so many different things that you can go into a client with? Do they just want simplicity, or are they looking for all those different things?
I think that people do want simplicity, and the benefit of having the toolkit built the way that we do is that we're not saying you have to use the entire toolkit. Rather, if you use the entire toolkit, you're likely to go crash in flames. What we're saying is that by going and focusing on a specific consumer scenario, a way you do actually deliver service to your customer, we inspect that, benchmark it, and then improve it. So we can actually pull the things we need to from the kit to tangibly impact that. So yeah, you've got all that available to you, but that doesn't mean you should be using all of it all at once. No, use the pieces you need right now, build your beachhead, and expand from there.
Pick and mix kind of approach, really, is it?
Say again?
Pick and mix. Sorry, I was using a UK term.
I'm not familiar with those.
That's okay. Just finally, so looking forward over the next year or so, the market's in quite a state of flux at the moment with the vendors and lots of discussion about different methodologies and frameworks. I mean, what are your thoughts on where we are in the ITSM industry 2012, 2013?
Well, I think that the technology vendors are in for an interesting ride, and they're going to come to a point where you're standing on the edge of the cliff and you're going to have to wonder whether you jump or not. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't think the jump is as bad as what vendors might consider it is, but the key thing is it's going to impact the way that they sell, because it's not just a matter of putting technology in people's hands. Rather, it's giving them a different orientation to work from and showing how the technology that they're offering is actually relevant in that context. For vendors that learn how to be able to do that bit of judo to position it properly, I think they'll be wildly successful. Those that don't, well, I think we'll probably see them being acquired for their customer base and being sucked up into bigger tool vendors. Either way, I think it's really a great time for us to be able to talk about this and start playing with more technology in the way it was actually intended, as an aid to provide capability, not as something that's an end unto itself.
Absolutely. Well, maybe we can talk about that next year, see how those predictions.
Well, good. I'd like to do that.
Yeah. Okay, Ken, thanks very much.
Thanks, Barclay. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
You too.